predecessors somehow pioneered that.
Right.
And that's what I want to continue.
Okay.
Definitely.
Welcome to Hong Kong. You started the position for a little while.
Yes.
And now it's about 20 some months, right? Tell me, are there any surprises that you did not expect from walking into this position? Right.
No, I think stepping in this role is absolutely wonderful. I mean, watchmaking is an insane world of love, of passion, of actually gathering. Also, that's what I really appreciate. Is that it's a community that I'm truly happy to enter. But marked, I think, the last year and a half or so is. I'm impressed by how versatility in watchmaking is happening. I see obviously a lot of things happening for complication, technicality of watches, and Bvlgari has a lot to say in there since more than a decade now. But I'm also impressed by how versatile designs is coming. Women are more and more knowledgeable and interested by watchmaking, being born from jewelry, but also born in the mechanical side.
Right.
That's maybe the one surprise I'm seeing. And coming from fragrances, it's an interesting thought because it's I would have seen maybe this category a bit more masculine in a way than what I'm discovering. I'm discovering actually a much more balanced, versatile industry than I would have thought. And it's wonderful because it's where I think the future of watchmaking will even more be about. Remember a lot. My first years of in the beauty industry, we were at this time where fragrances started to become genderless. It was very new. Somehow pioneered in the 90s. I have a lot of respect for watchmaking and traditions of watchmaking. So. Things will take time, but I'm very interested about this trend also now happening in watchmaking. It's a big challenge, but also wonderful opportunities for brands like us.
Today, what are you wearing on your wrist?
I'm wearing one of the key novelties that we presented at Watches and Wonder, which is the Finissimo 37mm.
Right.
I'm wearing it in titanium polished.
Oh, good.
Which is, almost a new chapter that we're bringing for Bvlgari.
Yeah.
Finissimo is now 12 years franchise.
Yes.
It's among the very few icons of the 21st century in watchmaking. This genius idea of my predecessors to design a watch that would perfectly fit under the shirt.
Yes.
It's this idea of Italian Roman sartoriality, but also the technical challenge of designing and industrializing a caliber that would fit that.
Yeah.
Because realistically, there was no caliber with that level of thinness. And a true, outstanding groundwork of verticalizing our full manufacturing system, being able to work from the early beginning of a development of the watch to the end and integrating it fully. So that's the story of Finissimo. It's 10 world records, as you may remember. It's 70 awards globally that we received. And we felt it was really the time to bring a second chapter to that. And that's how the 37 was brought to life. It was this idea of redesigning with maybe not smaller proportions, but the right proportions, I would say.
Excellent, yes.
And with a completely restructured and reworked caliber.
Right.
Because it's a brand new development. So 3 years of work.
Wow.
Could look like easy to do a smaller version of a watch that exists. We don't see it this way at Bvlgari. It's a full redesign.
No, it's a brand new watch.
It's a brand new watch, and that's why for me, it projects really again Bvlgari it's in a new chapter with this watch. So I'm very excited to present it today.
The newer movement, as I understand, it's not thinner than the last one. There are improvement in the power reserve.
Yes, 72 hours, 3 days. You can leave them on the Friday.
Yeah. The new term is a weekend proof.
I know, that's the weekend. No, but I think for me, thinness is, you're right, it's a personal appreciation you do for yourself, because but it's also for, a maison. It's challenging our industrial, technical, engineering skills, because there's nothing more complex than miniaturization. because physics goes against you.
Yeah.
I mean, thinness and energy, for instance, are two enemies. The more you go miniature, the more difficult it is to get energy.
Right.
It's the field where I'm still pushing Bvlgari to be innovative in. And that's why the power reserve for the 37 for us was crucial. It was not only an exercise of miniaturization, it was an exercise of re-engineering the bridges, the platine, the jewels, to eliminate as much as possible the frictions, to ensure the best possible efficiency of the watch.
How do you face with all these engineering restraints, yet you have to maintain the DNA of the brand?
So I think it's a matter of understanding who you are, but sometimes also a bit shaking the industry, shaking what we can do, trying. I love in Bvlgari that in the DNA there's also this idea of surprising. There's this idea of coming with things that others don't do.
Right.
I mean, when we collaborate with MDNF, for instance, who is a friend of us, obviously not a lot of people would expect it naturally. When we deliver those world records, nobody expects us to be there. So I think it's on the one hand understanding your DNA, your tradition, who you are. At the same time, I truly also believe that as industry leaders, we have the duty to innovate, to shake a bit what's happening in this industry.
Serpenti is such an iconic ladies line in Bvlgari. How do you maintain this iconic look, yet appealing to the younger generation, to keep it fresh and interesting for them?
You know, you said something very right around understanding what your brand is about. And to understand Serpenti, you need to go back in the 40s, 1940s. The inspiration of this watch started early 40s, again, inspired by the most Roman trade that we could think of, which is the arrival of Cleopatra in Rome, arriving with Julius Caesar, wearing this Serpenti. At that time, it was not on the wrist; it was on the arm, and somehow creating this jewelry symbol in an Egyptian symbol, but making it relevant for Rome. And that's how the Serpenti was born. And if you look in history, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, were years where those watches were iconic and were created. At the time, we didn't have calibers, by the way, to put them in. That's why we were going to Marpiguet, to Vacheron Constantin, to put those calibers, but the design was there. And I think what makes Serpenti relevant is that we have this almost century now of existence of a watch designed for ladies originally. If you ask me, the main recipe of success of Serpenti is that it's not a men's watch that we made smaller. It's an iconic design, unique design that is rooted to who we are, Bvlgari, since 1940, and even longer back to the tradition of Rome and Cleopatra. And to your point about younger generations, I think our younger generations, they are even more demanding to the brands about the authenticity of what they have. They're very knowledgeable. And I think it's our duty as a brand, to treat them with a lot of seriousness and to be even more demanding with ourselves on, is this proposal relevant for them? And that's what Serpenti is working today with all generations, is because we're not lying.
In front of us, we have a couple of ladies' watches. From the Serpenti, I could see the inspiration coming from the Serpenti. You have the bangle, and then you have the automatic, which I think the movement also came out in, or the mechanical movement came out from 25. Was it the year that we met, right? It was.
Yeah, it was the Lady Solo Tempo. So this is the Piccolissimo caliber. So the story, it's a very good link and bridge with Finissimo, because learning how to do thinness, brought us to small and miniature movement. I mean, it's just a matter of switching the physical challenge from thinness to size. And obviously from Finissimo we moved to Piccolissimo, which is one of the smallest mechanical caliber in the market that equips a lot of our high-end precious jewelry watches. And then back in 25, when we actually met, we launched an automatic version of it, which is this lady, we call it the Lady Solo Tempo, so time only. Difference is that you have a B-oscillating mass that here you see decorated, by the way, with some of the snake aspect. And this caliber is today among the very few caliber of this size available in the market. You have more than 50 hours power reserve. So again, for the level of cinetic of this caliber, it's kind of an achievement. And this is projecting, Serpenti in what it is in its DNA, which is the permanent metamorphosis. Serpenti, as an animal, loses its skin and reinvents itself. And that's the metaphor that we love to use at Bvlgari, because obviously the Serpenti is born in the tubogas. So this famous bracelet we're talking about, which is rolling around your wrist, but can come into what we believe is a much more traditional watch. Sedutori looks like, even though you still see naturally the head of the snake, the scalier effect of the bracelet, you have those smart signs of the snake, but in a more subtle way. So can go into a true mechanical watch or a more abstract way of looking at the snake. And this bangle, Aeterna, was launched now at Watches and Wonder 2025, so a bit more than 1 year in the market right now, and talking the codes of the snake in a maybe more subtle, abstract way, answering quite well the work also done with the Viper collection that is very successful in our jewelry line. So that's what I love in this Serpenti line, is that it's more than one product, it's more than one watch. It's really a platform that we can play on, and we see more and more women interested to discover, to go through different interpretations of the snake we're proposing. But what I like in what you say is that that's maybe my take and what I want to drive with this brand. It's being able to somehow propose things in a lot of various fields of watchmaking, because I think nobody now today questions anymore the legitimacy of Bvlgari in watchmaking. 25 years of investment, starting in 2000 with the acquisition of Rotengenta, down to the Finissimo saga we talked about. I think the industry somehow knows that Bvlgari is a true watchmaker. Our arrival at Watches and Wonder in 2025 was also a testimony that we were in this Ivy League of watchmakers. And maybe now what I want to bring to the brand is this audacity of offering products and watches to different segments, to different clienteles. Because I think we definitely now have the latitude at Bvlgari to do it. And that's what I try to bring at Watches and Wonder 26, and that I will bring even more in 27, you will see. Keeping this foot into the technicality and the mastery of our calibers, but also bringing more and more ladies' watches, because that's where Bvlgari is born from. That's also where clients are expecting us. Surprises, because that's also what Bvlgari has been mean. The Ultra is a good example of, again, another concept watch that would have not existed if it was not Bvlgari thinking about it. So surprising the industry. You talked about maybe entry lines. We talked about young generations. It's also our duty, as watchmakers, to start opening up the portfolio, to have the new generations coming into watchmaking. That's all the fields that I want to explore, because after 25 years now of true watchmaking at Bvlgari, we have the true capacity to play into all those fields. There's one belief I have, which is, we talked a bit at the beginning, I think this notion of versatility is very interesting for me. Playing with the symbols, always in a very respectful way, but playing with the symbols, making those symbols evolve, having men wearing ladies' watch, ladies wearing men's watch. That's what I find the most interesting in the change that is happening in industry. And to close on an anecdote, the night we actually met in New York, early 2025, we were, remember, together with a lot of collectors, passionate clients in watchmaking, and I met this American collector who was wearing a Sedutori.
I remember.
If you remember. And I genuinely asked the most stupid question now, I realize 18 months later, to this gentleman. because he was wearing the Seduttori, and if you, I can show it to you, the Seduttori actually carries a Rubelite crown.
Yeah.
And even though he was not wearing a diamond version, you still have the Rubelite crown. And I genuinely asked him, oh, you love Seduttori, I'm very glad, but wouldn't he like a more genderless crown, maybe like without this gemstone?
Yeah.
And he looked at me saying, of course not. I like the product that it is. I like your watch as it is. I don't care if there's a Rubelite. And you know, now 18 months later, I still remember this anecdote because I think it's really showing how much people, clients, collectors are a bit shifting their approach of watchmaking. And you just need as a maison to deliver what feels relevant for your proposal, and just dare to have a design which can go on any wrist as long as it's consistent and telling a true story.
Very well said. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
Taking the time to giving us an insight to the near future of Bvlgari.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.